All right. Good day and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Live the Fuel show. So, since we're rocking it in 2020 and approaching the end of January, I'll timestamp myself. This will probably air in either February or March. I have no idea because I've been recording so many shows. I've literally lost track, and this is why I hired a VA. So, anyway, we are constantly bringing on new guest co-host, gang, and I'm excited because there's a lot been going down under, is the air quotes there, here from the US in Australia. So I'm bringing on a new guest co-host, dialing in from Australia. And if anybody has been following the past month or two of news, because I'm streaming this live right now over Facebook, they've had a lot of challenges down there recently with wildfire. And obviously, since there's fire in my logo, and anybody who knows my brand and my history, I'm a former wildland firefighter. So I take this very seriously. We might talk a little bit about that, but really the theme of today, to help you guys understand the importance of this show, is we're going to geek out about health. And we're also going to geek out about blue light. You guys have heard me talk about this many times. I've had multiple founders of other blue light blocking glass companies. There's a little hint. We might be talking a little about blue blocking. And but anyway, this gentleman joining us today, he really began gaining a lot of weight, struggling with chronic fatigue. These are all pretty common things, unfortunately, nowadays for a lot of people, not just here in the USA, in Australia, and around the world. These common issues of lacking energy. And a lot of us do initially target dietary practices and approaches to try and, deal with this to a certain degree. And he tried the same. But he stumbled across light. That's right, people. Light can be healthy. And it also can be challenging and unhealthy. But also it really, really dials in and connects with our body. And we're going to talk a little about that. We're going to talk about impacts on hormones today. I know we're going to probably geek out about sleep because that's why blue light blocking glasses exist. But even fertility, because this has come up on prior shows as well. So for the newer listeners out there, hang on tight. You're about to get your minds blown if you know nothing about blue light frequencies, blue light blocking glasses, and more. So without further ado, Andy Mant, founder and CEO of BLUblox. That's BLU, people. BLUblox. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much for having me on. That was a really wicked introduction. I didn't also realize that you were a fireman in a past life. My dad's a fireman, so
I was one of the elite.
We hear,
I don't know how Australia calls them, but you have wildland firefighting, and there's a lot of type 2 crews here. And then I was on a federal U.S. Forest Service hotshot crew. So the hotshots are shipped to all I don't know. A movie came out recently called Only the Brave. I don't know if you guys got it down there or not. I don't know if you watched it or your dad, former firefighter, watched it, but it was about, It was a story of the fallen 19 Granite Mountain hotshots who passed away in June 30th, 2013. I served in 2010 and 2011, and I was based out of Arizona, only an hour and a half from those guys. And we actually served on a lot of fires together. So when they fell on the line of duty, all 19 of them, it rocked our worlds. So to this day, obviously I'm no longer a firefighter. I'm a former hotshot, but I take what they do very seriously. I'm constantly bringing it to light. I'm literally finishing a book about that right now, because I'm going to be donating all the proceeds of that to fallen firefighters. So I take firefighters, firefighting. When I hear about wildfire, especially like what's been ravaging your country, I unfortunately can't unplug, and I stay very connected. So, and let's catch people up. You guys officially have rain falling.
We do. It is. I'm on the West Coast, so it's not too bad over here. But where the fires are on the East Coast, it is coming down. So hopefully we'll see that those fires retreating and put out soon. So we're still sort of thoughts and prayers for everyone over East, but it's looking like it's getting better.
So let's connect this up from a little sad thing there. I mean, there's thousands of acres and animals are dispersed and everything else, but there's also a lot of healthy benefits of wildfire, not just from, there's actually different species of plants that people don't realize. Like, for example, the ponderosa pine is a species of pine tree out in the Western US that their cones hatching the seeds actually hatch in fire conditions. A lot of people never knew that. So it's, Mother Nature literally has plant life that does benefit from naturally occurring wildfire. The issue here in this country, when I was serving, and really also to a lot of the crews still serving to this day is, and I'm intrigued to see if that's happening down by you, is that the government stepped in and listened to the citizens who don't know what the hell they're talking about. And they complained about people doing prescribed burning near their homes, and they stopped doing it. Well, now you have all of this natural occurring fuel beds just building up. And then all you're just waiting for is a spark or a lightning strike or some idiot in your country just starting random fires of fireworks. And now you've got a powder keg torching off thousands of acres. So
yeah,
is that about the same?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people don't realize that on the West Coast, the reason on the West Coast is we didn't get a lot of fires this fire season is because the cultural burns are allowed to happen and the prescribed burns. But over the East Coast, you're exactly right. A lot of people don't know that. It's they stopped a lot of them and now it's just out of control. So yeah, it's absolutely on point.
Yeah, it's so I guess it's sad that our mistakes are passing over into your country as well. I would hope that other countries have more of a clue. But to be fair, the same thing's going with our nutrition. Everybody thinks that we know everything and they're letting our fast food go around the world too. So, but let's skip over nutrition. I mean, except for the fact of your backstory, I do want to at least pause on that briefly because I do want to get into technology and how you guys are doing things differently because I'm super excited to geek out about that. But for the benefit of the listeners, obviously you have a backstory, right? And you, honestly, you're on a video camera right now. You do not look like, I'm air quoting, a big dude, right? So when you're putting on weight, you notice that. And those are inflammatory responses to the body. A lot of people don't understand that. But why don't we catch people up? So you obviously initially started targeting it from a dietary nutritional standpoint, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I got really overweight, I mean, you're right. I'm about 5'7", so not tall at all. So when I put weight on, it's quite noticeable. But I was about 30 pounds heavier than I am now when I was probably in my mid-20s. So sort of about a decade ago.
It's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, it was absolutely mental, and it was just really sort of like laziness, just eating convenience foods. And I tried to lose the weight through dieting, but I just listened to what the government was saying, like cut your calories and do a bit of exercise, and it didn't work, lost a bit, gained a bit, lost a bit, gained a bit.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that the doctors don't know what they're talking about?
Oh, wow.
That's another 100%. Whole podcast.
Yeah, exactly. God, that's another rabbit hole. So I decided to start looking critically at health. So I decided to sort of follow some sort of, Facebook groups where people were talking about different things, about different dietary protocols, and a lot of evidence-based practitioners that were talking about different dieting approaches to lose weight. And at the time I stumbled then across ketogenic dieting. And,
I'm a big keto guy.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, this was probably before keto was cool, like sort of 10 years ago. And I jumped on that sort of bandwagon and, started doing it all wrong to start with. I was just like smashing a load of butter and bacon and that kind of thing. And but I was losing weight and I refined it.
Well, because you cut, the biggest thing is you cut a big part of your inflammatory lifestyle, which was heavy sugar intake, processed things that are preservatives, sugars and grains, which are all anti-keto. But those people don't realize those trigger inflammatory responses and disease feeds off of that. So
absolutely. But yeah, it only took me so far. I got to a point where, ever since I was about 14 years old, I just couldn't sleep properly. I'd always be waking up and always feeling a little bit sort of ropey in the morning.
Let's pause on that. So with the sleep, because I this is important people to hear this. Were you a person that would just wake up throughout the night, like short cycling, or would you able to like get through about half the night? Like my wife, she gets through till maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and then pops up. What was your situation there?
Yeah, just waking up, say like 3-4 times in the night for like brief periods. Yeah, that was my problem. And no matter, I just thought when I changed my diet, my sleep would get better, and it didn't. Just stayed the same. So I gained obviously that thinking outside the box mentality. So I just started diving a little bit more into the literature and stumbled across Dr. Jack Cruz. It was at the time.
Jack. And he's still my most downloaded episode ever. Amazing. Man, that guy's got a viral following.
He does.
Do you know the name of his followers?
Mitochondriacs, is that
there
right?
It is. You do know Jack. I was like, what the heck's a mitochondriac? And this next thing you know, my brain is blown wide open, like the healthy mitochondria, which are the power plants of your cells. And oh man, I love Jack, man. He's a character.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So it led me just to think about sleep critically, and dived into the literature, and just found a lot of studies out there that showed that specific frequencies of light after dark was messing up our sleep. You know, a lot of the blue light, and most of the green actually as well.
Oh, we never talked about green. Ooh, okay.
I know. So I rushed out and bought some blue light glasses from Amazon, just your cheapy pairs, amber lenses, stuck them on, and my sleep improved. But after about a couple of weeks of wearing these glasses, it kind of regressed back, and I wanted to know why.
I'm
and I was fortunate enough that I had some friends in an optics lab here in Australia, and I just said to them, look, if I bought a load of these glasses, could you just run them through your spectrometer and tell me what frequencies of light they're blocking? And they were like, why? But yeah, no problem. They didn't really sort of get where I was coming. And the reason I did that was because when I was reading literature, it was very clear there was a melatonin disruption zone, okay? And that fell between 400 and 550 nanometers, okay? So
now, when you say that measurement, you're referring to the intensity of light or a specific color spectrum?
The color spectrums of light, yeah. So from 400 to 495 is blue, and from 495 to 570 is green. So as you can see, you needed to block 100% of blue and 100% of green up to 550 nanometers in order to block all the melatonin disrupting light after dark. And this is in a peer-reviewed study, and there was another couple of studies that came out as well that supported that through clinical trialing. So we had this evidence, and I just, something sort of didn't sit right with me. Were these glasses that I was wearing, were they blocking 100% in that range? Right. So that's why I went to the optics lab. I just thought, if my sleep's improved a little bit, it's an improvement on what it was from just having complete access to all this blue and green light after dark. But was it enough? And lo and behold, when they tested these glasses, they weren't even blocking all the blue light, let alone the green. So my next question to them was like, I was always intrigued about sort of starting my own company. And I just said to them, could you produce a tint for for glasses that blocks 100% in that specific range? And again, they had no idea why I wanted to do it.
Now, again, when you say tint, you're looking for like a material that you can overlay over a traditional lens, right?
Yeah. So the way it works with tinting is you get a plain plastic lens, and you would put it in a little bath with some specific tint in there. And however long you leave it in that bath, the more or less wavelengths of light it will block. Okay. So that's in essence how it works in terms of tinting lenses. But yeah, they could develop this tint. So they made it here in Australia, and we did a few samples. We sent a few samples out to people just to gauge, what's your people that wore blue blockers already. I wanted to see if it was either placebo or whether these people that are already wearing blue blocking glasses saw an even bigger improvement wearing this new lens. So we sent them out to people like Luke Story, for instance, a few other influencers that were in that biohacking space, and just said,
now was Matt already doing his, or were you kind of like before Matt? You know what I'm talking about?
We were literally exactly the same time.
Yeah, the light dye. Because like his color, his when I saw his red, it looked just like your red. I'm like, whoa, because most blue light blocking glasses I look at aren't, or like I call it red, but it's a very red looking lens for the full 100% blockers that you guys are working on. I'm like, whoa, that looks different, because I've had 3 different manufacturers of glasses in this office, and I'm like, these all don't look the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'll be very similar, and it will be similar color because it blocks the same frequencies. It blocks that 400 to 550 nanometers, which you have to block completely 100%, or you're going to be leaving money on the table when it comes to being optimal with sleep.
Sure.
The thing is with light, okay, is that it passes through your eyes directly. It's all about angle with light as well. So if it passes directly through your eyes, even if you're getting, if you're letting in 99% or 50% of the light in the 400 to 550 nanometer range through the glasses you're wearing, or if you're not wearing glasses at all, you're going to have varying degrees of like melatonin secretion. And your listeners, as well as yourself, are going to be looking for that optimal level of secretion. We don't want to secrete 70% of our maximum of melatonin. We want 100%.
Right.
And the reason that's the reason why we wanted
why
to create
half
this
hack,
lens.
as some people say it, right? Like biohacking or
Yeah.
hackers, like why half hack it? Like try and go all in, man. Let's see the full benefits. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And a lot of people come back as well and talk about peripheral light, you know, because unless you've got that fully wraparound sort of lens over your
Good
eyes.
question. Yeah, good point. I've never asked
Yeah.
about that. And what is your point of view on that?
Yeah, so when you actually look at the location of light sensitive cells in the eye, so the IPRGC cells, okay, they're located deep within the inner retina. A lot of people think they're located sort of on the surface of the eye, but when you actually look into the physics and I guess the biophysics of it, the location of those IPRGC cells are actually quite deep in the retina. So they're actually only influenced by light that can pass directly through the eye from literally straight on.
Gotcha.
And there's definitely no rebound effect off the lens either, because the lens is tinted to absorb and reflect, absorb the light and then disperse it. So you can't get any of that, I guess, reflection or refraction off the inside of the lens as well. So it's all a matter of light angle when it comes to, I guess, how the eyes will take in and transcribe.
So that's why a standard pair of glasses, like you're focused on that direct on approach. Even a little bit off center, you're still going to be protected with your glasses, really. So
absolutely, yeah. So the wraparound effect isn't completely necessary.
So now, I don't need spaceman goggles.
You don't. That's the good news. That's the good news. But another thing a lot of people don't sort of look at as well is the glasses are only part of the equation. Okay, so they're excellent for helping you sleep and helping you get the desired amount of melatonin, because melatonin is a super powerful antioxidant as well as a sleep hormone. But we also have something present in our skin called melanopsin, and melanopsin is a blue photoreceptor. So it transcribes biophotons at the 480 nanometer wavelength, which is up at the upper end of the blue spectrum. So regardless as if you're wearing blue light blocking glasses or not, if your skin is exposed to blue light after dark, you can disrupt your skin circadian system and also potentially disrupt melatonin as well.
Nobody's ever brought that up. I've never heard that before. So you're blowing my mind right now. I'm loving this. So in other words, if I'm recording at night after sunset, I should be wearing almost long sleeves if I have like blue light around me and stuff like that. I mean, well, because like, you know, again, I try and create balance, right? So I like Jack Cruz, he's anti everything. So he even said, he's like, I'm risking my life just sitting in front of a computer screen right now. He's like, I'm committed to getting this education out there. And I'm like, well, that's a little extreme, but hey, he's a doctor. He's a neurosurgeon. He might be a little smart guy. But anyway, so you're saying is like, so if you do have LED lights around you, even though you're wearing blue blockers, like, hey, are you wearing a short sleeve shirt, right? Are you allowing your skin to get fully exposed to this extra frequencies?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why we're not just a blue light glasses company. We're more on that education side, as well as producing other products that can help manage light hygiene.
Yeah, I'm just so we've got Red, since you're bringing that up, because cool. I was checking out. Yeah, I like your lens guide. I don't think I've been on any other company's site where you guys are sharing, you know, a lens guide. Like, oh, why is there clear? Why is there yellow? Why is there red?
Yeah, it's so important because, you know, all of our light, everyone's light needs are different. Okay, like everyone, yes, needs to be wearing their Sleep Plus glasses after dark, the red lenses. But you know, there's a couple of different ways to wear lenses during the day, and it depends on one's sensitivity to light. You know, and a sensitivity to light is people that can be suffering migraines, people that are you know, more anxious or depressed or stressed or suffering seasonal affective disorder than someone. And someone that isn't sensitive to light is, you know, their vision's fine. They maybe get a little bit of dry eyes when on the computer, maybe some dull headaches. Yeah. So light needs are different, you know, and this is why we didn't want a one size fits all, Scott.
Well, most clear lenses, because I just gave a friend of mine a pair that weren't yours. Sorry, you know, but
that's all right.
You know, hey, it's like he's stuck behind a computer, and I'd already given him a pair of 100% blockers from somebody else, and he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "It's like making me tired during the day." I'm like, "I told you, it's for nighttime use, dude. They were 100% blockers. You don't wear them behind your computer." So I gave him a pair of clear lens, and now he's much happier because he's looking to just protect himself, you know, while he's at work, because he does a lot of graphic design and everything else. Like he's stuck behind a computer screen all day. So I'm
Yeah,
not stuck
absolutely.
behind my computers all day. It's only when I podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really depends on what kind of lights you're working under as well. Because, if, for instance, I'm not wearing glasses now because I have got software on my computer to filter the light. I've
Nice.
got no artificial light on whatsoever. And I'm right next to a load of windows and doors which are open, by the way. So
Yeah,
I've
for
got
people listening to
literally,
this, you're on your video. You have a lot of natural light behind
mm,
you, off to your left. I mean, it's beautiful Australia weather. I'm guessing outside. So
it is, yeah,
yeah,
lovely and warm. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm not wearing mine. But if someone's sat in an office and there's artificial light on, you can't put an app on your, LED lights or
no.
fluorescent lights that are in your office. So you've got to then take the appropriate action and wear blue light protection over your eyes as well in that office space. And a lot of people want to wear the yellow lenses in offices, but some companies don't allow it.
What?
They're literally like, these are sunglasses, you can't wear those. They're
They have no
tinted
right to
lenses.
determine your eye health,
Exactly.
and they're not
And people should push
sunglasses.
back. Exactly that. But people should push back. And, those that don't opt for the clear ones as well, just because, they want that, don't want to draw attention to themselves and,
Right.
and things like that. So, everyone's different. But what else is important, Scott, is natural light. Like it's all very well blue light companies saying, just wear our glasses and you're going to be optimal. Like that isn't the case either. It's only part of the equation. Natural light is needed to pass through our eyes during the day in order to secrete and suppress specific hormones and neurotransmitters. So, blocking and filtering blue light is only one part of the equation. Natural light is extremely important as well. And when you get that natural light, sunrise, sunset, midday, is also extremely important to our health as well.
I like your point on that. So that's another reason why you don't be wearing that red lens during the day, right? I agree with that. There's certain frequencies that we should be consuming. There's like people don't realize the sun is actually healthy for you. Like it's like people are like, oh, well, you're trying to block light. I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to block the sun. I'm not wearing my blue light blockers outside. I'm letting all that wonderful, amazing sun hit my skin and hit my face and hit my eyes. And over the past like 2-3 years, I've done everything I can to minimize any usage of sunblock. And I know some people think I'm crazy, but I'm like, there's a lot of science you haven't read yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big thing as well. And there was a really interesting study actually when it comes to sunblock. And I guess not really sunblock, but skin cancers. Okay, there was a really interesting study about 3 weeks ago that came out that looked at the skin circadian system and how it works. And they found out that the skin circadian system works independent of our master clocks. Okay, so it has its own clock system within the skin, and it works in 2 phases. Okay, so there's one phase when it's light. So when light hits your skin, it's in an active phase. Okay, and then when it's dark. So when the sun sets and maybe there's only red light present, the skin goes into repair mode. So when you're out in the sun during the day and let's just say for argument's sake, you're not wearing sunscreen, you're getting a lot of UV light, which is very beneficial. It mixes with cholesterol, forms your vitamin D. But, with nature, with everything, and blue light's another one that causes issues as well as, good. Too much UV will cause cellular damage. There's unequivocal evidence that states that. However, what we're doing after that is that we're not watching the sunset, which contains infrared and red light, which is a healing property of light. But what we're also doing is we're going home after a day of, being out in the sun and switching on artificial lights, which is then sending a message to the skin to say it's daytime and we don't need to go into repair mode. So the skin can therefore not repair any of the potential damage that UV light would have caused during the day. And it's not just UV light, things like pollution, EMFs that are, damaging the skin. And inflammation.
So what are your thoughts on those, the red light technology, red light therapy? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
These panels of red LEDs you can get. Because I've been looking into it. I'm like, I haven't bought any of that yet. So
yeah. So what
excuse to go shopping.
What red light therapy is doing, is it mimicking the sun. So in the mornings and in the evenings, when the sun is rising and setting, there's high frequencies of infrared light. So it's an invisible light, and also red light. And it's those properties of the sun that actually causes healing. So the red light will heal at surface level. So it will reduce wrinkles, any inflammation that's on the skin. And the infrared light penetrates a lot deeper into the muscle tissues. Okay, so it will repair any damage that's happened at a deeper level in the cellular system. Now, what these panels do is that they are a hack to people that perhaps can't get out and watch the sunset or don't want to watch the sunrise.
Like people stuck in the office all day. Like they leave at sort of sunrise, but they're protected behind their windshield that's filtering stuff out. Yes. And then if they even if they actually left at sunrise, which half the people don't, then they're stuck in the office all day. And then when they're driving home, they're sort of kind of in the sunset, but maybe not. And then you got the third shift people who are leave at night and get home at sunrise, and you're really screwed there. I mean, you have nothing going on.
Yeah, so absolutely. And daylight savings messes that up as well, because you mix actual time with social time. And
such an archaic system. Yeah. And I grew up on a farm. About people, we have modern technology now. The farming industry has changed. We don't need to do the whole daylight thingy. Stop it.
Yeah, 100%. We don't have it in WA. We haven't had it for years. So
good for you guys.
Yeah, the only ones.
I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah. So they're good, but you just got to be careful when you're choosing one, Scott. And the reason I say that is because LED lights do something very harmful to us, apart from emit, blue light. And the red LEDs that are used in a lot of these panels do something called flicker. And LEDs are energy saving. So what they do is if you film an LED light in slow motion on your iPhone, for instance,
they're actually pulsing at a very high rate of speed.
Yeah, and that's going to cause, endocrinological damage. It's going to cause nervous system damage over time. So you want to avoid that. So some of the bigger brands that are out there with the red light have very high flicker rates within their panels.
So can you get an incandescent bulb option?
No. Well, what you can actually do, and this is something that we'll be releasing in a couple of months, is that you can change the current type from AC to DC, which actually eliminates all flicker.
So you'll be using a power converter plug, basically.
Yes, absolutely. And we've developed something that it's going to be called Hive, and it's red light therapy, both infrared and red, but it actually runs off batteries. So it's a very high powered battery that you then charge. So you get no EMF as well when you're using it, because a lot of these
so it's a rechargeable system. Okay, I'm liking this. Okay,
and that's one of the reasons.
And then it's going to be 100% fueled on DC. So you're not giving them an AC plug that converts to DC power. That plug is used for charging the device. And then you're supposed to run it. You're supposed to unplug it and let it just run off the battery.
Absolutely. And you can also charge it via your laptop as well. So you don't even need to plug it into the main.
Oh, so you're doing a USB charger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Smart move.
Yeah, we like to change these things. We like to see what products are out there, and we want to improve them because we know the science behind light.
Well, then I will wait to go shopping, and I'll wait for your prototype.
Definitely do that.
Well, how long are we talking? I mean, is it scheduled for 2020?
Oh yeah, April. It will be ready. So they are ready now. We're just designing the packaging for it. So we'll let you know on that side. And we've also developed LED zero flicker red and yellow light bulbs as well, which will be released in the next 6 weeks. Oh. So again, we have opened up a light bulb, and we have inputted, or my tech guys, I should say, have inputted basically a current converter in there. So we're now running through DC electric current via the AC plugged into the main. So
I'm always looking to upgrade to this home studio. So I'm already excited. I need something else I can add.
Exciting times, man. Exciting times. So yeah, that's basically our whole mantra is our saying is optimal light, optimal life. And we want to optimize everything related to light, because a lot of people, and the same is true of blue light glasses. There's so many companies out there now that do red light, blue light glasses, bulbs, but none of them know the science. They're just jumping on a trend, that they feel is like, oh, everyone's starting to talk about light. Let's sell some products and make some money. Whereas we need to, I guess my mantra is, and hence why, we reached out to yourself, is we want to come on and educate people about, there's a lot more to this than just sticking on a pair of blue light glasses or buying a bulb.
Thank you for pointing that out. I've been a sales and marketing professional for years before and after firefighting. I have my own agency now. And I tell people, like, guys, selling is the end point. Like when you close the sale, it is so important to build a relationship for a sales professional, but really to educate. And one of the best ways to build a relationship is show people that you care about knowledge and you care about passing on the education. For example, I'm going to help you with the segue because I've had this page loaded up here and I want to ask about it. You already brought up the whole blue and green. And I noticed on your site, once I dug through the shopping options, you have a Sleep Plus category and you're hinting at right here, you actually spell it out on the screen, 400 nm to 550. So, and this is talking about blue and green. So that's education for me today. Usually every past podcast episode I've talked about the blue light glasses. I had glass companies on. It's all about blue light, blue light, blue light. No one's ever said green. And I know that in the color wheel, you know, that blue and green are very, they're a hybrid of each other. I mean, really, you need blue to make green. So actually, if you go back to elementary school, you would take yellow and blue and you made green. So, so let's chat more about this education behind the Sleep Plus. I mean, I'm guessing this is one of the things you guys really focus on for education.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sleep Plus is definitely our signature lens. It's the one that people want because, you know, ultimately artificial light after dark, after sunset is an inevitable thing these days. You know, people don't want to just come home and sit around the campfire and talk. People want to watch telly. They want to, you know, they might want to work on their laptops and also, you know,
like my wife.
Yeah. And blue and green light, you know, a lot of people as well always say, well, oh, I've got apps on my smartphones and all that. And, you know, that's
not
all
the same. It's not the same.
Yeah. We've spectrum tested them and yeah, it helps, but it's not the full piece. But there's also issues with other sources of blue and green light around your house. Like what happens when you open your fridge door? There's a light in there and that is giving out a very, very high frequencies of blue and green light. Hence why, you know, when you go and open your fridge, you get blasted by a load of blue and green light. And what does blue and green light do on a neurotransmitter perspective? And that is it increases dopamine. So, you know, there's probably no coincidence that there is very high piercing blue and green light present in one's fridge. Things like, you know, if you own appliances, you know, like an oven or a dishwasher or anything like that, there's a lot of LEDs on those as well. So you might have, you know, amazing light hygiene across your house. You might not have your TV on or anything like that, or apps on your computer. But, you know, if you're going and putting your dishwasher on, there's a blue light present in that, then that's going to tell your brain that it's daytime. It doesn't take
even those tiny little LEDs that are telling you what mode you're on or if it's on. That's still enough to affect you?
Absolutely, yeah. The brain doesn't care how much it is. It will just, that trigger will send a message to the brain that it's, in all honesty, solar noon, not even the morning, because of the intensity and composition of the light in those LEDs that are being used. And you know, then you've got outside light sources, you know, like if you go out after dark, you know, you're going into restaurants, street lamps, car headlights, you know, these shining in through your house are all very high in blue and green light. So, you know, people have to look at it from a, you know, a more holistic, I guess, viewpoint as well, and a wider viewpoint that it's not just your smartphone that's causing you to stay up or your TV. There are sources of blue light everywhere, like alarm systems in people's houses. I had to go round all my appliances and alarms in the house when I moved in with black electrical tape and cover up all the LEDs on it to hack that system. So definitely
it takes a lot of work to make your bedroom a true tomb, as I like to call it, because if you got a fire detector in there, you know, on the ceiling, it's got an acknowledgement light. And I put the tape over it. My wife's like, "Why are you doing that?" And I said, "Because it's supposed to be a cave. This is going back to prehistoric times. Any kind of little bit of light is gonna screw with you. So
it
just block it out." And she's like, "Well, then we don't know." I'm like, "Yes, you will. When the battery dies, it yells at you. Fire detector 101, it screams at you, starts chirping."
It does. Yeah.
You don't need the light.
Noises.
Like, why have the light? Like they put the lights in to give you all warm and fuzzy, like, oh, I see a green light, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was okay, I could go off on this, but I'm with you. I never realized though that even the small, like just something as simple as like, you know, I have a Zoom H5 recorder here, offloading the audio of my mixer board up, and there's 3 lights lit up on it right now, you know, telling me which channels are activated and the record button's on, and and there's a screen on it, and there's so much technology. So yeah, this is a great point for people, like little by little. I think that's a good point for you to focus on. Baby steps, right? Like not everybody's going to be able to rip the lid off and do everything we're talking about. But one thing I love to remind people that if blue light blocking was BS, why would all the top paid engineers at iPhone and Android now provide it in the software as a setting? I brought this up to somebody the other day and they're like, "What? That's a setting?" I'm like, "Dude, it's been in there for over 2 years. and people still don't know about it. You could set your warm glow of your screen, and people don't realize that. But like, that's entry level stuff. But if we're talking BS, why does that exist? Right?
Exactly. And what is also interesting, and you're totally right as well. I'll show you on my phone as well, for those that are going to be watching, a little video on
Let me stop sharing here. Or is that something that I can bring up or no?
No, it probably won't be.
Good. I'll stop screen sharing so your camera takes priority.
Okay. So when you look at your phone, okay, you put it on night shift mode, and we've spectrum. There's a YouTube video I've done on my channel that shows a spectrum test result for that. So it doesn't filter all the blue light; it blocks the majority of it. So as I said earlier, if you put night shift mode on your phone, there's still a little bit of blue left in there. So if you're using it after dark without blue light glasses, you're going to disrupt your sleep.
Yes.
So what we've done here is that if you look at my smartphone now, and if I triple click this home button on my iPhone, my phone goes completely red.
Dude.
Okay.
Is that an app you guys put out?
It's not. It's actually a hack, and I can send you the link on how to do it. I've actually
I'm hacking.
A blog article on it.
I am hacking.
But everyone can do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, he just turned his entire screen. It looks just like the deep red frequency blocking that he's got on his glasses. I've not seen that ever. And you said it's on your YouTube channel too?
The testing of the night shift mode is on the YouTube channel, but in my blogs on page 1 of the website is how to turn your iPhone screen red. And
is that under learn or under, as you said, blog? Okay.
Blogs, yeah.
That is super fun. We got to make sure we link that in the notes. Where is it here? Screen 3. Sorry, I have too many monitors.
That's cool.
So is it one of your first articles or way back? Or?
Yeah, so if you scroll down a little bit more,
there it is.
Go. Screen. So it's just not even a blog. It's literally just, here's your instructions. Nice, short and sweet. And it's very easy to do. Yes, and then you just triple tap that home screen button or whatever.
You create a shortcut for it. That's awesome. Oh, I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And then you can just change it after sunset and have no issues with even the small amount of blue light that's coming out of your iPhone. So, going back to your original question, Apple know this is an issue because they've set up, that's a hidden hack, but they've set that up. They've put night shift mode on because they know that blue light's damaging people's eyes. Not just disrupting sleep after dark. During the day, blue light in isolation of red light, which is in artificial sources, is damaging the retinas. It can lead to things like macular degeneration. Digital eye strain is on the rise. Headaches, and migraines were big for me. Used to get them every week. Horrible, nasty headaches. But then when I started managing my light environment, I haven't had one for about 5 years. So
that's one thing I liked on your site was helping people understand summer glow.
Yes.
And I remember one of the tips you had in there was specifically addressing people with migraines, anxiety, and stress. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about clear, which is great in front of the computer. They look clear, but there is like does yours have like a bluish tinge if you angle it against the light? Yeah. So you got that. You got obviously the extreme red, but the sleep plus, but summer glow. Like, why the yellow? Because when I look at it, I think of aviator sunglasses, or I think of shooting glasses. Like a lot of marksmen use the yellow to actually help filter out a lot of stuff, and it's usually great for marksmen for target shooting. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, no, I did. And yeah, when you actually remove the reason, I guess before I answer that, the reason shooters wear those types of glasses is to improve, I guess, the acuity of what they're seeing. So when you look at the sky outside, and probably not so much your time of the year at the moment, but it's the summer outside here in Australia, the sky is completely blue.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's because of how the blue light scatters through the atmosphere. Okay. So, when blue is actually removed and that scattering of light is taken out, you can actually see clearer as well. So when people wear shooting glasses, it's to reduce the blue light down so they can see the other colors clearer and more accurately. So I guess why we invented summer glow was when we were doing our research on different daytime lenses. When you look at blue light, okay, the lower end of the blue spectrum, the lower you go, so 495 is the highest in blue and 400 is the lowest.
Okay.
The closer you get to 400, the more energy and the more damaging blue light seems to be.
Oh.
And when you look at the LED frequencies of blue light, they're very much centered between sort of 440, 450 nanometers. Okay, so that seems to be where they cluster and where the massive spike in the blue is. And when you look at the evidence, it was that blue that really kind of increased symptoms in people with low mood and
440 to 450.
Disorder. Yeah, around about that 440 to 450. Right. So we focused our lens firstly to eliminate entirely those two frequencies. Okay, so
but didn't you just say it's even more extreme when you go down the 400?
It is. So this is that was our first prototype. So then what we did was we took 450 and we eliminated everything below it. Okay, so 100% from 400 to 450 we completely eradicated, and then we left 450 to 495 of the blue pretty much intact. I mean, 460, 470.
That's what you need the sleep plus for, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So these are daytime glasses, all right? So what we wanted to do was take out that entire damaging lower end of the blue spectrum, which was causing people to have those increased symptoms with their anxiety, depression, and seasonal affective and trigger migraines. But what we also wanted to do was we actually looked a little bit deeper. So we looked away from blue light blocking and we looked at color therapy and how different colors can actually stimulate different moods in people. And we found that having a very vibrant yellow tint, so not like a dull yellow tint, so very bright and vibrant, actually caused people in studies to feel more elevated, to feel happier.
Is that why you guys call it summer glow, GLO?
Exactly.
I want you to be glowing.
Yeah, exactly. They see the world in a glow. So when you put them on even a cloudy day, everything just looks so bright, and it's
That's
fantastic.
True. I've skied because there's different like ski goggles. Every time I buy a new pair of goggles, I end up leveling up a notch. But I have my new goggles. I have 3 different types of lenses for them. And the reason why is because if I'm in a low light situation, I want to brighten things up, right? If I'm skiing at night, you can't ski at night with a hardcore like sun in your face type of lens because it's not blocking the same way. There's a different light frequencies, but I loved it. I had a pair a while ago that had like a yellowish tinge to it. It was so cool, man. I always felt good skiing. Maybe it was on that spectrum.
Exactly that. Yeah. It's color therapy. It's how different colors make us feel, like when you only have to look at, I guess, the psychiatry side of things as well. And the association of colors with different things like, as we alluded to earlier, the yellows are just sort of stimulate that really sort of happy,
think of summertime,
yeah,
yellow,
exactly
and orange, right? I think of summertime. So you call it summer glow. I mean,
yeah,
I'm with you.
There it is.
The branding makes sense to me. Now, and this is totally safe to drive with, and like it's a daytime usage, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We'd never say to drive in the Sleep Plus lenses because they eradicate most of the green light, and obviously green is
you might not see
light when you're driving.
To go. Well, I mean,
exactly.
I would probably not be driving with these, but no, it's just cool to know that you could. But I would definitely be using something like this during the day because I don't know. For me, you know what? I get a little stressed out from time to time. I'm a hard charger. I'm just guilty of it.
Yeah.
I don't get migraines anymore. I used to. I don't really have an anxiety thing. I mean, I know a lot of people nowadays are. There's a lot of psychological triggers, as you've hinted at, but also the lighting could be a big component. Like, what if putting on a pair of glasses like Summer Glow, after a few weeks or maybe a month or 2 of usage, all of a sudden you notice this diminishing. I'm like, oh my God, like, why would you not want to wear a pair of glasses? By the way, have you guys, is there studies on that? Is there a timeline, an average timeline where you notice that difference or that impact on your healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. It really depends on what glasses you're wearing though. And a lot of it, I'll be honest, is the anecdotal N=1 kind of things, like
I N1 the shit out of it, man. I'm N1 and everything. I tell people all the time, like, I can't knock it until I've tried it. Now, granted, in a positive way, You have
to.
But
so yeah, it really depends. Look, people
like Summer Glow. What's the average on that? Would people notice that right away?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of our glasses, the majority of the people will notice improvements after just 1 use. So Summer Glow and the clears, like for instance, people will put them on when they're working on a computer one day, and then they won't notice it until they forget to wear the glasses, and then they realize how bad the blue light is. They start to get really sore eyes, watery eyes, headaches.
Wow.
So, people notice that improvement straight away, but when they forget their glasses and then don't wear them for one day, they really then notice, wow, these are doing what they say they need to do. And it gets to a point after a while that you condition your eyes to how they're supposed to be ancestrally. So, on the odd occasion, which is probably maybe twice a year, that I forget to wear my glasses, like if I've gone out and forgotten them or left them in the car or something like that, my eyes start to burn after about 30 minutes, especially after dark. Wow. My eyes are so conditioned now that they don't see any blue or green after dark in that 4 to 550 nanometer range, that when I do, I know it. They start to get sore and I start to get very disorientated. And you just realize it's much like dieting, Scott. You don't realize how bad perhaps or suboptimal your diet is until you actually find the right diet for you. And the same is true with life.
It cracks me up because people are like, oh, well, have you tried this diet, that diet? They all work. I'm like, all diets, air quotes, people, dietary changes, diets, a flash in the pan for 3 months or 1 month or whatever you're doing, crash diets, whatever. They all initially work, especially if you're eating manufactured factory crap and you're chugging soda and drinking booze too much and all these things. So like everybody just magically thinks that, oh, this next hero diet in a magazine is going to work. I'm like, all dietary changes will probably make you feel good for the first few weeks. The biggest thing is, what is sustainable? And that's why in my podcast, we talk about health, business, and lifestyle. The lifestyle piece of it, there's the hidden component in there is diet is a bad 4-letter word. Yeah. I officially state that now because it's psychologically triggering a short-term mindset. All the magazines push it. The doctors push it. Nobody's focusing on what is the long-term approach. And that's why I emphasize lifestyle. What are these things that you and I are talking about now and everybody else has been on the show? Like, what can we take away to impact a long-term stability, sustainability, stability, all of it for years to come? And that's why people are like, well, wait a minute, you're asking me to make a change in my life. And now I got to wear these glasses the rest of my life. And I'm like, and like, if your eyes took a shit tomorrow and you went to the eye doctor, they're going to tell you to wear glasses the rest of your life. All we're saying is, what if you wore a pair of glasses that can impact you in a positive way, or in this case, drop anxiety, stress, etc., because the LED lights aren't going anyway. It's getting harder and harder to find an incandescent light too. I'm like, I'll take it. Who cares? People are like, oh, well, you look kind of weird wearing the glasses. I'm like, and another life lesson I'll teach people is you eventually reach a point where you don't give a shit what other people think. And it's very freeing. Focus on you and your health. Who cares what they think? Because they haven't gone down the N1 experiment route yet. I'm a heavy N1er, so people think I'm crazy. I'm doing the keto thing, the carnivore thing. I'm wearing my glasses, whatever. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to maximize my health and kick ass and take names in life. So I might be wearing some funny glasses.
We think exactly the same. And I love that. And, I'm not one of these people that comes on and speaks about light as being like, sod everything else. Light is the only thing that's important. It's one factor in a whole lifestyle of things, like eradicating EMFs, having that healthy lifestyle when it comes to nutrition, exercising correctly, looking at...
let's not take it away. Nutrition is still important. I mean,
absolutely.
Light and nutrition are going to work great together. But there's still so many other things. You still should be exercising, fitness, sleep cycles, you can wear the glasses, but if you're still not obeying an appropriate circadian rhythm, as far as timelines and consistency there, you're still going to have some issues. These glasses are going to help. It's not going to cure all. So
absolutely. And it's looking at things like the circadian timing of food intake and looking at the circadian timing of exercise as well. It all comes down to that circadian rhythm. And, light is a big cure and trainer of circadian rhythms. And so is darkness. But, temperature also does it. Meal timing does it. Exercise timing does it. So, it's, light is a big, big thing. And trust me, it's huge and probably one of the missing pieces of the puzzle when it comes to people like your listeners and probably not yourself because you're already doing it, but, people like your listeners that, want to be optimal in all the pillars of, optimizing their life. And, if their diet is correct, if they're, exercise is correct and they're managing EMFs, and that's brilliant. But if they're, leaving light completely unmanaged, then, they might only be at 80%, whereas if they sorted their light out, they might take themselves up to 90%. So, they're all different pillars that people need to look at, and you hit the nail on the head that it's lifestyle, and it's not just wear the glasses for a few weeks and you're going to then have good sleep for the rest of your life. Like, this is a lifelong commitment. It's an investment in your health.
And let's be real. There's going to be people hearing this and watching this that they will do the flash in the pan decision thing. Like I bought a pair of clear lens 50% blockers for my wife because she thinks that the 100% blockers ruin the television experience. And I'm like, Meanwhile, you're sitting there playing your mind games, your mind exercise games on your iPad while watching said TV before bed.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy. Anyway, I'm one of these guys. People know me, man. When I make a decision, I'm all in. I'm committed.
Yeah.
And I know that there's people out here hearing and watching this that aren't wired that way. But I have to remind people too that you can become wired that way. You can get there. Just commit. Make a decision. Like, what if? Here's the big what if, right? What if it works? What if your life gets healthier? What if your lifestyle improves? And I think the biggest, I should rewind this little power statement here, is that the biggest thing you have to do before all these what ifs, before you even try your glasses or anybody else's blue light glasses or blocking EMFs or dietary changes, is if you have not hammered down your why and you have not made sure that you documented it or wrote it or spoke it to yourself or recorded it or whatever your little hack is to make your why matter. If you haven't literally woven that thing out of Kevlar and made it bulletproof, you're going to fail. And you're going to make mistakes, and mistakes happen. The biggest thing is get back on the horse, man. Well, what are your thoughts on where I'm going with this? Like, because I know this has come up with customers of yours, consumers, even probably people you're close to. Like, people fall off the wagon, get back on the wagon. They fall off the horse to get back on the horse. I think the most important thing in life is, are you the one getting back on?
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. And, people are always going to fall off the wagon at some point during their journey. We all do it. And, it's creating a mindset, I believe in that, you need to be, like what you said, switching that lifestyle and making it habit. And, people that, maybe try something for a few weeks and then stop doing it, you're not creating that habit and that lifestyle. You're doing it as a fad. Most diets last for about 3 months and then that's it. So,
and really, a legit transformation takes more than 3 months. The average person, to build a sustainable impact, it's going to be at least 16 weeks. We're talking 4 to 6 months of commitment. The first 3 months is like that. In the dating process, it's not the romancing phase, but you're still like high period. Yeah, it's like, honeymoon. Thank you, honeymoon period. There it is. It's like, oh, everything's all excited and happy. And then all the shit hits the fan and goes up on the wall, and you're like, oh, what am I doing? Or is this really making sense? Or it's like, dude, you only committed for 3 months. Come on.
Yeah,
step exactly.
It up. Exactly. And this is the thing I always say to people as well. It's like with the glasses, for instance, like we give people 30 days from receiving their glasses to try them out. And then if they don't work for you, which I don't think anyone has done yet, maybe 1 or 2 people out of the sort of 20,000 that have been sold, is, try it out, like give it a go as well. And if like I'm saying, you'll notice a change in one night or one day of wearing these glasses. And, if people are reluctant to take the punt, because like you said, you don't know it until you try it. So people have got no excuse. Jump on and grab a pair and try them. And if they don't work for you for any reason, send them back and we'll give you your money back. But you will wear them after that one night, maybe 2 if you're a bit of an outlier, but you'll be astonished about how much they influence just your sleep or how you feel after working on a computer during the day all day. So there really is no risk, and people have got to try it. And it's 100% true with blue lights. A lot of people might listen to this and think, oh yeah, this is, bit out there for me. But until you try it, don't knock it. You've got to try it with the best, because not all blue light glasses are created equal. We know this. We've talked
Which
about
ones did you guys ship me? The sleep ones?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I don't even remember. I can't remember. But I was like, whatever
100%.
ones you shipping me, I got to make sure I order the other ones because now I want to play. I want to play with the summer glow now. I'm all excited.
100%, man. 100%.
I think I'm missing
but
out.
Yeah,
here,
I think I sent the sleep just because they're signature, and you're obviously an optimal guy, so you wanted the best. So those ones came across.
I'm game on. Speaking of that, because we are coming towards the end of the show, I forgot to do some shout outs. So people want to know what these look like. Here's a pair. We're going to shout out the man behind Your Superior Self podcast, because you've already been on his podcast. There he is. Trey Downs, Your Superior Self. So there's a shout out. I like to shout out my fellow podcasters, but only because I follow him on Instagram. There's his Instagram, and there's 3 posts ago shouting you out, saying thank you at Lord_of_the_light_84. That's the person you're listening to and watching today, ladies and gentlemen, on Instagram. But yeah, he just got his BLUblox frames. So, and he's like very excited and rocking them. So I have to text him now. I'm like, yo, dude, just had our boy Andy on. Let me know how your glasses are doing. He's got a more of a British Special Forces, like James Bond looking the style there. I like him. So now, is that something he picked out, or is that something you guys picked out for him?
Yeah, no, he picked those out, and they're the ones he wanted. So yeah, he's gone for that.
Nice.
Yeah, that look. But you can see them there, like how red they are, and he's just told me they're game changing for him, and it was a bit of an eye opener for him to go on his show and really sort of dive into light, because he didn't really have any idea about light to start with, and now he's just
come on, I've talked to him about it. I call BS. He follows my show.
He was playing me.
I've been on his show. He's been on my show. He's seen me wear the glasses. He follows me on social media. I'm calling him out.
Yeah,
That's
do
it.
it, man.
I'm like, Trey, but don't be playing dumb, dude. I mean, granted, I think yours are probably his first ever pair.
That's probably it. Yeah, that was probably it. But yeah, that was an epic conversation as well. And yeah, his mind was blown. So it was good.
Well, and that's good though, because, and by the way, let me screen share one more time here, because I forgot that post. He posted other things. Like, I like your personalized touch in your packaging, and your like, this was a card that was actually in the package. I think that's very nice. Like restoringvision.org. That's your partner for nonprofit.
That is true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And thank you, because I also rock a for business model, not for profit theme there. So it's for purpose, right? So like right as we went into 2020 now I'm up to 5% of all gross income goes to nonprofit. But I found my foundation this year. But prior to that, it's not about the foundation, but it's like prior to that, I said, hey, let's I set it all aside in a bank account that's just for nonprofit, and I would just donate it. Whatever. But now I founded my own foundation. So now the foundation benefits from that. So I'm basically funding the foundation now. So,
that's amazing.
But I love the fact of that, because now, is that just in Australia, or are they everywhere?
Everywhere, yeah. So we donate the monetary value of a pair of reading glasses to Restoring Vision for every pair that we sell.
Yeah.
And then they purchase reading glasses and then gift them to people in the third world.
Nice.
So developing nations. So people that need them for working or for school.
That's like the very first BLUblox glasses guy I had on was an eye doctor, and he was only selling on Amazon. And he was the first person I heard about that had 50%. Your frames are much more stylish, by the way. But that became his passion. And let's be real. Like, I tell people all the time, like, there's multiple vendors out there. And I think I'm glad, because as an entrepreneur, competition's good. It helps you, differentiate yourself, differentiate your brand. But I think he started a nonprofit too. I think it was called I Love Care, or I Love something.
Okay.
But again, like, you didn't have to start it. Like, there's one right there, but the same mission. They were donating glasses and going over to Africa and helping people less fortunate who may have never seen before, and just putting on a pair of prescription glasses. All of a sudden, like, these kids are like, and parents are blown away. Like, they can now function better. They can run businesses. Like, they were like blind basically before. So yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I love to give back. I think I wish more companies would do it. It's something that I think that we should be doing.
Think about it. If you hardcore a percentage, or what you've done, however you guys did the math on that, but it's like, as you grow your business and your success, people are like, oh, well, you're greedy. I'm like, no, I'm just growing successfully. But also, it makes me work harder to grow the success, because based on a percentage, I can now give more. So as I succeed, that rises with me, So it's like, all tides raise all ships, all that thing. Like, let's all do it, man. Let's work on it. I think every company out there, every business out there, if they found some way to align with a nonprofit, it's spiritual, it's powerful. There's a lot of energy there, but I mean, that's how we change the world, man. I don't know. Yeah. I love what you're doing.
It is. Thanks, man. No, I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And so now, did you guys partner with them from the beginning, or did that come later?
About 6 months in.
Nice.
So obviously first 6 months we were just finding our feet, but then, we partnered with them. They're actually based in California. Oh. So American company, but they just were the ones that were aligned most with, I think, our ethics and goals. And to this day, I've been partnered with them for a couple of years now, and will continue to. And it's just great that customers know that, they can listen to, I guess, podcasts that I've been on and provide the education, and they have the money to then, transform their lives by buying the glasses and then buying other things from other companies to hack their light environment. But, those in the third world, developing world, that can't help themselves are being helped by those people that are helping themselves. So it's win-win for everyone, I think.
This is how we slowly but effectively can all work together to change the world in a positive way. Yeah, so I love it, man. Well, listen, we actually are coming to the end of the show. So I ask my guest co-hosts to help leave behind some final words just to help close it out. So obviously we've talked a lot about your BLUblox, but is there, and I'm very excited by this message. After 3.5 years of podcasting, going on 4 years now this year, I've realized that not just what we kind of off the theme we just talked about, right? Like, you've reached a point as you ascend and you raise and you work hard, and you realize, like, what is the legacy message that I'm leaving behind? Or what is am I putting out an all-encompassing message, big picture? So, like, that's kind of what I shoot for when I say final words. It could be legacy. It could be, hey, this is just an all-encompassing message behind everything we're doing. But, like, what's some final words you want to leave behind in case everybody forgets everything else we discussed today? They can at least remember this about you and your mission and what you're doing.
Absolutely. And I guess the final words from me is that we're an education brand first, that just so happen to sell some products that can help with that education. And we want people to not just rush out and buy glasses from anywhere. We want people to research the science, have a look at the studies, have a look at the blogs that I'm writing, listen to the podcasts that I've been on, and then make your own decisions as to whether, you feel you need these glasses or what glasses you need. I don't want BLUblox to be, and I don't feel it is in the industry at the moment, a company that's just selling blue light glasses. I want to come across as this empowering sort of organization that educates people and actually has passion behind its products, and is not just run by, an entrepreneur trying to make a quick dollar. It's someone that wants to help and give back to those not just in need, but those who have the ability to help themselves by listening and thinking critically about certain aspects of life. And in this instance, obviously that's with light.
I like that. Life and light, man. There you go. There you go. Tie it all together at the end. Very nicely done. Nice packaging job you did there. So, well, listen, hang tight. I want to give Pepper goodbye off the air. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where else to go. I mean, we've hit heavily on healthy light. We've hit heavily on, I would hope, some powerful tips to leave behind for you guys to make some impact on some healthy lifestyle choices. We even danced around the importance of diet, sleep, and a lot of other components on here. But obviously, since they are an education-focused brand, I'm going to screen share one more time. Reminder that when you go to BLUblox, that's without the E, it's BLUblox, BLOX.com. And when you're on there, they actually have a learn tab, and there's multiple options below there. You could dive into, face shape guide for glasses, which is funny because a lot of people don't know about that. I didn't know about that until a few years ago when I used to wear sunglasses. Now I don't even own them anymore. But blue light technology, they help educate on what the dark side is, lens color guide, FAQs. So they are about education. So make sure you check them out. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we did a great job for you all today. If not, please email me at scott@livethefuel.com and how we can always improve. I'd love to listen to the voice of the listener. But again, we're here to fuel your health, your business, and your lifestyle. So remember, you too can live the fuel, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.